Hello, everyone. My name is Chu Han. So I'm from Mantle and I work on ecosystem marketing. So today, welcome everyone to Bybit Predicts episode 1. It's 2026, right? So like everyone discuss about prediction market. And that's why like we have designed this type of live streams just to let everyone know you are not watching it, but also our audience can be part of the live stream. They can vote. And then now we have bring everyone to the screen. And then today the topic will be the 2026 dilemma, XAUT or BTC. Which one would you choose? So yeah, I will invite 8 debaters to be on the screen. Oh, MK's here. Okay. I started. MK, hi. Do you want to introduce yourself? It's another host of today. So excited to be another moderator. Yeah.
Yes, hi everyone. Hi to the old friends of Bybit and the new friends of Mantle, Byreal, and everybody who's watching us. You will have seen me on previous Bybit live streams, but I'm very excited to be co-hosting with Chuhan today. Yes, I head up both the marketing teams of Mantle and Byreal, and this will be probably the first of many more fun co-live streams we have today to come. So I think with that, we actually have a massive lineup thanks to Chuhan and all our guests today. Very, very interesting debate question. So I think we can welcome everybody on stage first for a quick introduction.
Okay, yeah. So as mentioned earlier, we have invited 8 debaters. They are industry leaders, KOLs, and they will be split up into like 2 teams, Team BTC and Team Tokenized Gold. So I will actually invite everyone to the stage and we will start with Team BTC for introduction. So Catherine from Team BTC, do you want to start doing the introduction?
Hi. Thank you, Chuhan, for inviting me. My name is Catherine. I am the head of business development at Sol Protocol. So a brief introduction on Sol. We have 2 main business. One is we are the asset issuer for Sol BTC, which is the on-chain wrapper of BTC, whereby you can use it as a collateral to borrow, for example, stablecoin or the chain native assets like Ethereum or BNB. On the second part of our business, we also work to provide BTC denominated yield vaults, and we have launched our master vault called BTC Plus about 7 months ago, and it's been launched on Ethereum, BNB, Solana, and XLayer, and is also integrated with the Binance Wallet. So basically, we work anything on BTC. So very happy to be here and very excited about the debate.
Okay, so next will be Christine from Team BTC for introduction. So Christine, welcome.
Jam and Christine, thanks for the invitation. So a short introduction about me and my company. So I'm working as the co-founder of Access AI. So Access AI is the distributed scaling infrastructure for physical AI. So we provide physical data collections and model training for robotic companies, for research institutions. So yeah, that's about me.
Welcome, Christine. And next is Jack from Team BTC.
Hi, thanks for inviting. My name is Jack, and I came from AV.ai. So today I will be represented for the Team BTC, and a brief introduction of AV.ai. We are on-chain trading platform aggregator. We have integrated more than 116 blockchains, and you can trade seamlessly on our platform, especially on BNB chain, Solana, and moreover, we also integrated Mantle chain, so you can also trade assets on Mantle in our platform. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Jack. And the last one from Team BTC, we have Tristan. Welcome to the stage for the intro.
Hi, guys. Thank you. Great to be here and excited for the debate. I'm Tristan Dickinson. I'm the CMO of Babylon. Babylon's probably best known as a staking platform, and it's attracted close to 4 to 5 billion TVL. However, we're bringing out a new protocol which should go live in the next couple of months, which will enable you to program native Bitcoin. So the first use case that we'll have will be on Aave, where you can borrow against native Bitcoin and you can get and and then there should be different use cases off the back of that as well. But very happy to be here, and thanks for the invite.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And I can't wait to hear everything from Team BTC. So now it's the turn for Team Tokenized Gold. Let's welcome Ryan Chen. So Ryan, are you here? Let's start the intro.
Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Jian. Good night. Thanks for having me. This is Ryan. I'm a head of research and innovation from DJFT. So actually, I'm a Web3 background, but DJFT is more like, well, we call it Web 2.5 because we are building one thing called real world asset. In short, we call RWA. So tokenized gold is also one kind of RWA, which I think will be a great trend in the year of 2025, and will continue to be a trend in the year of 2026. So in terms of the DJFT, what we are building is an on-chain RWA marketplace. We get licensed in Singapore and Hong Kong, and also getting a license in Bermuda. What we are doing is we work with Web 2 giants like UBS, Invesco, and some major Asian names, including DBS, CMBI, to help them with the tokenization journey. And we also work with some major Web3 names like Bybit and Mantle to bring more assets to the exchange and the blockchain ecosystem. Recently, we also launched a use case with Bybit, which is to have a user can have a money market fund token from UBS and use it as the mirroring collateral to trading Bybit. In terms of gold, recently we are also exploring a lot because it's a hot topic. And one thing I can mention is we are going to launch a tokenized gold by partnership with the major Asia bank. And this is first time a bank coming to the tokenization of gold journey. And yeah, it's quite exciting, and happy to learn more from all those industry leaders. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Ryan. So next we have Dave from Team Tokenized Gold.
Sure. Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Dave.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Sure. Thanks for the invitation. And I'm Dave. A short introduction about myself. I did research and trading on the secondary market. Actually, I do cross asset classes, including crypto and commodities, like the gold I was talking about today, and some stocks. You can follow me on my Twitter, which my handle is BC1QDave. And also, don't forget to follow XAUT. We are a community in Hong Kong, and we connect all colleges and have been keeping building in this industry since like 2023. Yeah, so that's all. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Dave. So next we have Jonathan from Team Tokenized Gold for introduction.
Hey guys, I'm John from METH Protocol. So I think for those who don't know, METH Protocol is basically an Ethereum liquid staking protocol. We're available across Ethereum, Mantle, Hyper EVM, and so on and so forth, right? And also I think for the users of Bybit, we're also available as collateral for your put trading and margin lending, right? And so I think, it's been an exciting time in this space. Lots of teams working on different things, lots of teams maturing as well. I think for us, really, it's about working together with more institutions like Bybit as well, helping them on the back end with, our recently launched buffer pool, just to manage Ethereum liquid staking, redemptions and liquidity. So yeah, I mean, even though, I'm crypto native from the start, here to represent Team Gold. So let's go.
Let's go. Okay, so last we have another Ryan from Team Tokenized Gold. So two Ryans from Team Gold. Ryan, start your intro. Ready for it.
Hello, GM. This is RC Ryan. So yeah, really honored to be invited here. A big fan of the Mantle and Bybit. Really great to join this debate. I'm Ryan. I'm the founder of Insider.bot. We are probably the best polling market or prediction marketing platform you can find out there. And I'm also the co-president of XAUT last year, just like Dave. So yeah, really great to be here. Really look forward to having this really great debate. I also see Jack. Jack is the president before us, so there will be some kind of Oedipus complex here. So really look forward to challenge the previous president here. Yeah, but let's see. This will be a really fun one. I can't wait to fight with everyone, all the intellectuals here, for like a super good debate. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. So I already feel the passion. But as I mentioned earlier, this is not just a debate, but also a place for all the audience to join us and vote. So MK, do you want to start about like the voting mechanism and also the surprise we have for today's debate?
Yeah, also just a slight comment on just how fiery everything is starting. Love the globalness of the debaters as well as just the different representations, right? We are all mainly basically OGs, but very different and interesting POVs here. So for everyone who's watching, if you're on socials, on X or YouTube, basically you can join the rest of us on the Bybit livestream page. So those of you who wants to take part in this, then you have to come to the Bybit livestream page, have a Bybit account, but basically you can vote. You can try and predict and guess which side is going to win at the end of this 1 hour plus, right? So is it going to be Team Gold or Team BTC? So you can basically already put in your votes, or if you want, you could also wait till the end after everybody has finished debating to actually kind of put in like who you think will be really winning the debate, who made the strongest point for tonight. But the point is that whichever team that's the majority of the votes basically gets to share a prize pool of 500 U. So I would encourage everyone to pay close attention, see the dynamics, and really cast your vote very wisely. So again, right, just a gentle reminder, if you're on socials, feel free to chime in the comments. But if you want to win the prize pool, you will have to come to the Bybit livestream page and basically sign up and then cast your vote there.
Okay, I'm like ready for the anticipation. So it's 2026, right? We have seen like gold hit the all-time high, and also like everyone talks about RWAs. At the same time, we have also seen that BTC is kind of being an institutional bet. So what will be the alpha in 2026? I'm very curious. So that's why we have this topic today. And let's start round one. So round one, we will have 4 debaters, 2 from each team, to actually discuss about the following question: has BTC or crypto lost its explosive alpha, or is gold the alpha? So right to the topic, I will ask Christine from Team BTC to start. So yeah, show us what Team BTC is made of. The floor is yours now, Christine. So over to you.
Okay, thank you. All right. So I'm on Team Bitcoin because I believe in the intrinsic value of Bitcoin and the consensus Bitcoin has accumulated over the years. So first, let's take a look at the intrinsic value. So the value of Bitcoin comes from scarcity. It also has strong monetary properties such as permissionless, portable, divisible, right? So like gold or any form of fiat, Bitcoin's value rests on collective belief, which is consensus. But the difference is Bitcoin's consensus is decentralized and cryptographically secured. So that means it is not dependent on a single government or institution. So in the past few years, we can see Bitcoin has already adopted mainstream awareness, and it already have accumulated strong consensus. So it is very unlikely that Bitcoin's value gonna vanish in thin air. Secondly, I want to employ the first principle and to take a look at the supply and demand. So Bitcoin has 21 million hard limits. And if you look at gold, right, which is basically has no limits. So miners has already mined 95% of all Bitcoins. But the supply for gold still remain underground, and the global gold supplies continue to grow. So I believe with the next Bitcoin halving cycle coming, it is even more difficult to mine Bitcoin. So my conclusion is that basically Bitcoin is the asset with decreasing supply and with increasing consensus, which means stronger demands. So the price will grow. So that's my 2 cents on Bitcoin.
Okay, thank you, Christine. And now we have Catherine from Team BTC to add on. You have 90 seconds. Yeah.
Thank you. Before I make my point, I kind of just want to share with you guys the price action history between the two assets. So over the last 10 years, BTC has been up for 22,000% over the last 10 years versus gold, which is about 300%. So we're talking about a 200x and 3x. And as for this year, the World Gold Council Outlook has given its prediction on gold for 2026 and is pricing at roughly 5% to 15%, depending on the macro scenario. So do you call that alpha? I don't think so. So now here's my point. So I like to take a step back on how we look at the two assets. And Bitcoin is a very new asset. Is younger than most of us here. Is at least younger than me. Is a very emerging asset. So we can see the entire history or trajectory of Bitcoin. It started as a speculative asset. It moved on to narrative asset, whereby it's given a narrative of digital gold. And it then move on to phase 3, which is an institutional assets, whereby guys like MicroStrategy or Bitcoin ETFs being issued and institution capital flows in. And then it move on to stage 4, which is something I call the macro asset. Macro asset is an asset that it starts to correlate with the global liquidity cycle. And the asset most likely will end up at the last stage, the 5th stage, where it become a reserve asset. Now, if I look at gold is pretty much in the past many years, it's been very, very stable right at the top, at the ultimate stage. Whereas Bitcoin, if you really ask me, it kind of goes between stages 3, 4, and 5, and is very, very rapidly, only really happens in the past 3 years. And that means that Bitcoin is still evolving. If Bitcoin is still evolving, where the gold ceiling has been capped, that means that there's still an alpha here for BTC. So in the short term, gold might outperform. But if you expand the horizon over the next 10 years, and I believe that there's way more room for growth for Bitcoin over gold. So thank you.
Wow. Okay. So thanks Team BTC, and for Team Tokenized Gold, do you have anything to share back? So I will actually now invite Dave to share your insights with us.
Yeah, sure. You can hear me, right? Am I clear?
Yes.
Cool. Very good sharings from Team BTC, especially Christine, a very respectful teacher for me. And the first thing I want to share is actually for BTC, I'd argue that the decentralization and free capital is seriously challenged this cycle. A very nice example would be like, anyone know why Bitcoin started drop since February 6th, a recent movement? That's because the file in the absence files mentioned that Bitcoin may be controlled by Ethereum. So like people started worry about the true decentralization feature of Bitcoin and then started to sell off. So that's the first point. Is BTC really decentralized, since we know that more and more Wall Street institutions is coming to play? And is it really a free and safe way for capital to move around? Okay, that's my first question. And the second one is, I think the Pareto effect for BTC is too strong. I used to be a firm believer of BTC, especially the entire mechanism, until this cycle, end of this cycle, I started to realize how influential the OGs are. I mean, at the very start stage for BTC, these OGs, these miners, and the investors get really chips for a very low capital. So right now they accumulate, a lot of BTCs and pose a great impact on the market. So it's not actually a very good things to say, because as for gold, it's we can consider gold as normally distributed across the world. So the price movement is steady, and the effect is better. And the third thing I want to say is that gold is recently become a consensus of risk-haven assets, especially in nowadays world. We see that it's getting more and more turbulent, and the geopolitical issues happens every day. So gold may can be seen as an alpha in today. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Dave. And now we have Jonathan for Team Tokenized Gold. So what's your point?
Yeah, thanks, Chuhan. So I think maybe you can just frame it this way, right? So I think whenever, when Bitcoin first started, or, whenever any of us joined the market, the question we asked was, will Bitcoin replace gold? And I think really now the question is slightly different. Is how far has Bitcoin grown up, and how fast will gold learn to basically exist and go on chain, right? And so I think the easiest way to understand this, right, is really that most global capital right now doesn't like chaos, or in general, not even right now, right? In general, this global capital just doesn't like chaos, right? So most of us and retail investors, maybe we can chase volatility with those slightly smaller portions of our portfolio, but typically all your pension funds, SWFs, central banks, it's really to survive uncertainty, right? And that's really where how I see Bitcoin versus gold in terms of alpha, right, is volatility, right? So you can argue that Bitcoin, okay, fine, is a new asset. It can eventually, start to get a bit more decentralized, but that's over a very, very long-term horizon that maybe some of us may not have the patience to wait for, right? And so like Bitcoin right now sits about 30 to 50% volatility, right? Gold maybe is closer to the low tens. And it sounds like there's not much of a difference, but it makes a lot of sense when it comes to larger forms of capital, right? And I think from this point, very specifically, other than just volatility, is this, right? If, let's say, for example, now gold can do everything that Bitcoin does in terms of on-chain capability, right? Being used 24/7 for collateral, being able to be utilized to borrow other assets, easily interchanged between different wallets, different places, different people without having an intermediary, then that becomes a totally different ballgame, right? Because now gold suddenly is a harder asset that has the same capabilities as what Bitcoin touts to have over gold. And then the question to ask yourself is this: if, let's say, both of them can technically do the same thing, then which one really is the asset that you want to have? One that has been trusted over decades, or one that is currently still relatively new, could potentially go higher, but still quite untested generally on a larger scale.
Okay, thank you, Jonathan. The fun fact is I had an answer of the same question myself, but right now I think after hearing everyone's debate, I'm gonna switch my mind. So thank you, everyone. And also I want to remind all the audience that we have a live voting, so you can choose your choice and also answer the BTC or gold to be your choice in 2026. And I think right now we already have some results coming. So could we see what's happening right now with the live voting? Oh, actually now a lot of people choose BTC. So okay, I think it's
no pressure, right? Like no pressure for everybody else on Team Tether Go. Wow.
Yeah.
You just have to chime in now.
Yeah. Okay, so I think, we have like 400 people voted already. So I think now the pressure goes to Team Tokenized Gold for round 2. And I will actually turn this to MK. So do you want to start round 2 for another round of debate with 4 other amazing debaters? So I cannot hear what they will share. So let's start.
Yeah, so thank you to Christine and Catherine, as well as Dave and John. Very strong starting points. We're going to invite them off the stage first. I mean, basically just a quick summary in case you guys have been like, just tune in, right? We had some people basically talking about just the rapid trajectory of BTC and the kind of alpha that's performing at. And we also have a very strong argument about the kind of historical performance and stability that gold and now tokenized actually have. Very fair points when we are asking the question of alpha. But let's also attack this question from a different perspective. Fundamentally, everybody, we are voting for, are you going to be holding on to BTC or Tether Gold throughout 2026, right? So another consideration or another dimension to think about is that right now, should people buy physical gold or on-chain gold XAUT or BTC, right? So if this is the moment that you should be going in, which one will you go for? We will be having a slightly different format. I'm going to basically have Team BTC and then Team Tokenized Gold, then Team BTC, then Team Tokenized Gold, because I kind of want to see some drama more, right? So, okay, we are going to basically invite our 4 debaters for this round first on stage. So Ryan Chi from Insiders.bot, Ryan Chen from DGFT, then on Team BTC, we have Tristan as well as Jack. Okay, so the time starts for 90 seconds. We are starting from Ryan from Insiders.bot. Over to you.
Wait, just to clarify, the round 2 here, just like I'm standing on, like we should do on-chain gold instead of the physical gold, right?
Actually, I would prefer if we talk about on-chain gold, XAUT versus BTC. So that is the main topic.
Oh, okay. See, so the round 2 is like still the same topic as round 1. That makes
We
sense.
are still
Makes sense.
debating, and we're gonna push
see,
this
yes,
forward for Team T Gold.
All right. That's
I
good.
think
Okay,
we
sure.
should say something for tokenized gold instead of using tokenized BTC. We can continue the question from round 1.
Yes,
Yeah,
let's
let's
continue.
continue. Okay, that makes sense. All right. So, okay, let me start. So, of course, I think the major thing here is about the consensus. I think in round 1 we talk a lot about like which is the real alpha, like which one creates more wealth effect. But I feel like at this point, especially under global uncertainties, that is not the only thing. It's about which one can drive higher utility and bring real institutional onboarding towards Web3, and that is a more longer term thing, right? Like. Evidently, of course, we're seeing institutions going into BTC right now, but I think more severe issue is that people are still asking why are they going to BTC? And of course, consensus is a good explanation. We're here because we agree with the explanation, but for the majority, it's a hard explanation to actually agree with. And tokenized gold evidently provides a stronger explanation towards like why should we go on chain, and people can naturally accept buying gold. It's a long-lasting consensus that's been there for thousands of years, and as an asset-wise, it's therefore also a more secure asset for anyone to purchase. And being on chain gives it all the benefits that Bitcoin has. And when we talk about Bitcoin, right, like one thing we're hearing these days is that people are asking, what is the next big narrative for Bitcoin, right? Like people are still saying that what is the narrative for Bitcoin? And we don't see this kind of question happens on gold. People don't ask, what's the narrative of gold? So the consensus of Bitcoin is there, is not strong enough. And I think tokenized gold at RWA therefore provides a much more valid reason for any institutions or any like normies to onboard to Web3. And I think that is more important for today's stage as we're going towards the mass adoption for everyone. Yep, thank you.
Oh, starting with the institutional angle. Okay, good start, I would say. Okay, and then now we have Team BTC. Over to you, Tristan. I can see you're raring to go. 90 seconds.
Yes. Hello. Some very interesting points from everyone. I think if you start to look at the difference between gold and BTC, Christine kind of spoke through, the hard cap in terms of 21 million total supply. Gold doesn't necessarily have that. I think the supply grows at 1 to 2%. And then you look at the volatility side of things, and BTC is maybe 50%, and gold is 10 to $14 trillion asset. So you'd expect lower volatility of a higher asset. But I think the thing for me that I like to look at is what are the intermediaries when you buy gold? So if you're thinking about the kind of physical nature of it, you kind of deal with dealers, and then there's storage, and then there's insurance, and there's vaults, and you just add more intermediaries, and you continue to stack up intermediaries, whether that's tokenized gold or actual gold. Particularly with tokenized gold, you add maybe 1 or 2 other layers of intermediaries, and essentially what you do is you put your trust in other people. And I think in Web3, we've kind of learned, is it good to trust people? Sometimes, right? And ETFs are a version of trust. You are trusting another entity, but they only represent about 8% AUM. Versus, do we trust technology, and do we want sovereignty, and do we want to verify for ourselves? And I think those are important questions to answer for yourself. So obfuscate a little bit away from what's the alpha for this year in terms of what's going to go up in price. The macro is terrible. You've got Trump doing, crazy things from a tariff point of view. It makes sense that people want to risk off a little bit. That's normal. From a liquidity cycle point of view, that's also quite healthy. But then what you need to look at is, well, what intermediaries am I comfortable with? What kind of sovereignty am I happy with? And what do I then also think, on a longer term has a higher chance to gain market share? And I think that's where BTC is very appealing. In the last 10 years, you can look at some of the price, but if you just look at last cycle to, I guess, this cycle, if we call this a cycle, it did double in price. And so from that point of view, it was an asset that, appreciated, but obfuscate the price out of it, look at the intermediaries, understand what you're comfortable with, and understand, the kind of parameters around, I can verify on chain, or I can verify and trust that someone is doing what they say they're doing. Are they actually going to be true to that word? Is the gold definitely in the vault? Is the actual amount of resource available to be mined per year? Potentially. So for me, BTC wins if you take away price and you look at sovereignty and ownership. And gold still has its place. It's an incredible asset. But I think the real alpha is backing BTC over the next 5 to 10 years.
Thank you, Tristan. Gentle landing, but very hard question around the philosophy of actually and the true spirit of what we are doing on blockchain, right? Okay, setting up more pressure on Ryan. Over to you for Team Tether Gold.
Yeah, thanks. I also heard like Catherine from Team BTC mention like some major financial institution. I was just looking at the report, right? Some major institution like JP Morgan, Citi, they say the gold can go to 6,000 or even 7,000 in the year of 2026. And yeah, in crypto, people always think those 20-30% price up is a small piece, right? We always talk about 3 times, 4 times, or even 10 times. 20% is a small piece, but we need to think about expected return, right? For me, if you consider which asset to allocate, I need to not only think about the potential of the growth, but also think about the possibility of the price. For me, under such current market condition, like politically, it's a lot of uncertainty. US dollar is going to be weaker in the year after 2026. So definitely people will seek for safe haven. Then if you goes to, I think there's some misunderstanding the Web3 ecosystem. People always think like people around me knows BTC. If we think about safe haven, we are definitely buy BTC. But if you go to the street, you just ask a grandpa, grandma, you ask him under such kind of market, what do you want to buy? If you want to seek for safe haven, they will definitely choose gold because they don't know BTC. And you also think who has the largest money. So far, Bitcoin is only 2 trillion. The price even dropped. It's maybe around 1.5 trillion right now. But those major institutions like UBS, which we are working with, they are managing trillion level of assets. Most of assets are allocated into outside of Web3. It's still in Web2. And those money, I don't think they will come into Bitcoin within such short period of time, because at the moment we still see the big BTC, the core developer, they're still working on some new BIPs. There's still some development, which means the infrastructure is not stable. It's not perfect yet. And for those big institutions, if they want to really allocate money into a certain asset, they need to make sure the infrastructure have some certainty. And gold has been there for thousands of years. They definitely choose gold instead of choosing BTC. Maybe they will allocate, let's say, 1% or 2% to Bitcoin, but majority of the money will go to those traditional assets because of the trust, because of the consensus. And also answer the question, if gold only goes up 20%, why you think it's alpha? Then this comes to why we tokenize gold. We have a thesis, like when we build RWA, the first use case of RWA will always be accessibility. People who cannot buy those money market fund or tokenized Web2 assets, once they have tokenized the stock, tokenized money market fund on chain, then some people in developing countries, they can easily use the wallet, buy some, they get some USDC, USDTs, and they can access to those traditional assets. The first stage is always goes to those who don't have the accessibility before. And those guys, like some people in the developing country, once they hold a stable coin, you ask them what kind of asset to buy. If they seek for, they want to have a safe haven, then they definitely go to tokenized gold, because those people in developed country, they don't understand what's Bitcoin, right? And
Actually,
the next stage
sorry,
of
because
Bitcoin,
to be fair to Team BTC, we have to cut off Ryan's very strong arguments. But to summarize,
Yeah.
I think very strong points around the psychology and accessibility, right? I think this was actually a very good throwback. Okay, Ryan will have to save the remaining pointers for his last 60 seconds in round 3. Thank you, Ryan. And for the last baton over to Jack, over to Team BTC.
Yeah. So I'm in the team BTC. So the main reason that I send BTC that is 1 BTC go to 1 BTC. So I will give 2 on this. So first of all is you can buy BTC and put it in your own wallet as you want. So it's very easy that you are sure about the BTC is in your hand. But in the tokenized gold, you buy a ticker called XAUT, or you buy some PASG like something like that, and nothing is in your hand. So you're not sure if there really say a kilo of gold there. So maybe there's nothing, and you got the air, but just a ticker, right? So first of all, 1 BTC equals to 1 BTC is that you can ensure that you are actually holding a BTC, not something that you're not sure about it. And the second thing is you can buy and hold the BTC and sell it at any time and change. So I think I think the price of BTC in the exchanges are roughly the same. So like today is 65,000, I think, and every exchange is roughly the same price, but gold is different. You see that I buy a gold on chain and it's called XE. It's I don't know the price of gold today, but it's it will be not nothing. It will be not the same as the price of the gold price in our store. Maybe next to our shorts. So it's I cannot exchange the XAUT to buy a real piece of gold in the gold store. So the main idea is that the value of BTC is roughly the same at all exchanges, but the value of gold different somewhere else. So I think it's the main difference between the BTC and the XAUT. So yeah, so I think the BTC because I can store it and see it, and it's real, and the value it is roughly the same. So yeah, that's my point.
Thank you, Jack. Interesting pointers being raised for Team BTC, and also just a very interesting point about how actually the price of BTC is a lot more consistent, probably because it's midstream availability more so than Tether Gold for now. Okay, and I think just to have to say, I think for round 2 we have gone quite a few different dimensions. Hopefully that provided everybody with more perspectives to think about your final poll decision, which is to hold BTC or hold XAUT for 2026. I actually love that we went more of the retail perspective and psychology and institutional side, as well as just, building on from round 1, which is basically the alpha narrative that we were exploring as well. I guess we're going to hit into round 3, so I'm going to hand the baton over to Shuhan while I thank all our strong debaters for round 2. Thank you, gents. All right, we're going to have everybody on stage now, so it's a free for all. Okay, over to you, Shuhan.
Yeah, so now we have round 3 where we invite everyone to make your final arguments. So everyone, we will have like 45 seconds for your final argument, and I will invite Catherine from Team BTC to start first. Okay, over to you, Catherine.
Okay, I know that I don't have much time, but this is my last attempt to attack on Team Gold, especially on tokenized gold. Because if you really think about it, a tokenized gold is a token that's governed by a smart contract, which is being issued by an entity where the custody is maybe a gold vault somewhere you don't know, and it has a legal claim. Do you have a legal claim of the underlying gold? I mean, I have mentioned 5 layers here, and each layers could fail independently, and that is not a very good design for an asset. In addition to that, the gold the tokenized gold that you have now, do you actually have contractual claim, or do you have contractual claim, or is it a direct title? A lot of people don't understand the difference, but that is actually very important. When it comes to, for example, BTC, you always know that you can self-custody your Bitcoin, and it's very easy. And even if you have even if you own the underlying gold, there are legal structure that could restrict you on obtaining that gold, because it depends on jurisdiction. And last but not least, I want to talk about is redemption risk. If you want to directly redeem Tether Gold, the minimum redemption threshold is about $2 million. That is not something that you and I easily have. Whereas in Bitcoin, you can slice it in the smallest unit. I don't really hold $2 million worth of Bitcoin, and that has never become a difficulty for me. And especially when it comes to tokenized gold, if there is a market stress, the redemption can be suspended as well. So there are many disadvantages of gold over BTC. So that's my last argument.
Wow. Okay. I'll over to Jonathan. Do you have anything to respond back?
Guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I think that's a really, really great argument, right? And I think a lot of that, it's just, in my opinion, more of a matter of, how mature tokenized gold in itself is, right? I mean, it's the same argument on the other side that we've made with Bitcoin as well. But it's just that in this point in time, for let's say for example Tether Gold or any other future tokenized gold, it's just a matter of if the institutions decide to come on chain, then the liquidity and I guess in a sense redemption is still an issue, but more so should probably be solved in a quicker manner than, let's say, for example, institutions trusting Bitcoin the same way as gold, right? So I think that's a fair point in itself. But I think same as the first point that I made, right? Gold itself represents the kind of predictability that investors care about, and totally that Bitcoin still represents innovation and it's still an important experiment. But right now, with the fact that gold can move on chain and do everything that Bitcoin can do, then that in itself makes it a much more lucrative asset to be held in the point of view where Bitcoin and gold are directly competing with each other for the same kind of use case.
Okay, now I'll over to Jack from Team BTC to make your final argument.
Okay, so I think one more point from the Team BTC is that BTC is still developing. So we have the Bitcoin inscriptions. We have the something like a BTC layer 2 or many other new stuff. But the gold is, I think it's overrated. So that we cannot see anything new from a gold. So the BTC stand for the tech, stand for the future. So I think it will be much more popular later, especially in the area of AI. That we are aiming for the energy, the computer, the computing power. So that Bitcoin should be the energy value of the future. So I think BTC will be much more popular later. Yeah.
Okay, so RC, Ryan, how do you want to respond back to Jack?
Sorry, it's my. I think we have a really a lot of great arguments just now, but I think a lot of points made by the BTC team is that for tokenized gold, it is not custodial, it's not owned by you. But let's not forget the fact that one of the most important use case of crypto right now, namely stable coins, are not owned by you too. They are backed by bonds, they are backed by actual Fed, owned by US Coinbase or by the Tether. So I think evidently we have to say that not being able to custodial is sometimes not something to blame, but instead it creates value. And as far as I noticed, for a lot of BTC ETF or BTC stocks, the reason that it have premium comparing to just directly holding BTC is that by a company holding BTC, it provides massive value to the regulators, to the ETF purchaser, and that's why the premium actually happens. So I would say first, one point that the BTC team was talking about in terms of custodial is not necessarily correct. I would say custodial sometimes add value, and that is an important value in today's world. And second thing is that I would say that, of course, Bitcoin have more potential, Bitcoin have more alpha, like it's a venture asset, but that's the nature of all venture asset. We need to think about more about mass adoption and the value in the future, and that is what onboards user, and we believe gold is what onboards users. Thank you.
All right, so now over to Christine from Team BTC for your argument.
Yeah, I want to reinforce my argument from a trader's perspective. So I know most of you guys are traders, right? So you will see that most of the trading alpha come from information asymmetry. That means when everyone believe that the gold is stable and valuable, and only like us or only a small group of people think Bitcoin is valuable, there's definitely alpha for trading. And I also wanted to attack the argument Ryan made just so far. He said that right now the institution only want to allocate 2% of their money into Bitcoin, but we have to imagine the day when the institution are willing to like invest like 50%, or not even 50%, but like 30% of their total assets into Bitcoin, what the price of Bitcoin will be on that day. So we have, as traders, we have to think future, not think past. So that's my perspective. And I got people to ask me, like, Bitcoin is so expensive right now, what does the future growth of Bitcoin coming from? So I guess the answer is pretty simple. It will coming from both institution and it will coming from retail customer. So you can see right now, BlackRock, MicroStrategy, they all hold billions in terms of Bitcoin value. But in the future, let's imagine like more and more countries, individuals and institutions, like even your grandmother and your grandpa start to accept Bitcoin as the way to store their value. That is the time when Bitcoin has reached its peak time. So I think the long-term thesis for Bitcoin remain intact. It is a decentralized, secure, and global accessible assets. So we, as investors and as traders, we need to think in the future, not in the past. And I think gold is the past and Bitcoin is the future. That's my argument.
Well, that's a very strong conclusion, but I really want to hear what Ryan Chen will respond to Christine's point. So Ryan, over to you.
Yeah, actually, if from a trader perspective, you cannot only believe one thing, like you cannot say you believe Bitcoin, so you put all your position into Bitcoin. That's too risky for a trader. I think I'm not a trader, but I learned some trading strategies. Like we need to calculate the expected return line, right? If I think like gold price kind of goes to 7,000, 6,000 end of the year, I think it's high chance, maybe more than 80%. Then it comes to how we make this 20% even more. That is come to why we need a tokenized gold. I think in traditional market, if you buy a gold, you can just only buy and hold. But once you have tokenized gold, you can go to some lending protocol like Merkle or B. You can do a leverage strategy, make you 20% goes to 50% or even more, make it an alpha. That's possible. So when it comes to and also answer Catherine's question. So the tokenized gold may have like 5 layers. But actually, we see a lot of institutions coming. Like as mentioned, we are working with the major Asia bank to help them tokenize the gold. Then once this happens, By the way, this bank have a gold vault in Singapore, which is tier 1 financial jurisdictions, and it's safeguarded with full insurance covered. In this case, I think people will trust those assets, and tokenized gold can build more use cases, even have wider adoption compared to Bitcoin and other kind of assets.
Okay, so next we have Tristan from Team BTC to respond back.
Lucky last. I think there's been some really good points today, to be honest, and it's a bit of to an extent, tokenized gold versus BTC, and I think it's nice that BTC can be in that conversation, because certainly when I entered Web3 10 years ago, I wasn't thinking that BTC would be compared to gold or a tokenized version. And then I guess, so from kind of what the team spoke through, Christine spoke about scarcity, but also trading and volatility for traders is actually what you want. To be honest, whether the price goes up or down, if you ride the wave and you swing trade, then you can actually make quite a bit. So the more volatile an asset, the better it is to an extent for trading versus long-term holding. And Catherine talked a lot about trajectory in different stages, and then that redemption function, I think is I didn't know that 2 mil, that's a lot, right? So that's a kind of barrier. Jack made some practical points around ownership and structure, and then there's some discussion that we had around intermediaries, but I think the biggest thing for me is really just looking at the trust side of things. In the tokenized gold version, you're really trusting that XAUT Tether in this example actually does have that physical gold that does actually sit there. And sure, they're a large entity, there are insurance and there are regulations and there are vaults, but what we have access to that vault, we can actually physically see the gold that is there. We actually can verify it. And I think that's probably the challenge that you have in terms of growth and adoption. Gold is an asset that's been around for a long, long time, tens of thousands of years. Bitcoin is fairly nascent and new, and how quick it's catching up shows you where the perception and the market is. The market is moving towards digital as the first and most important area. And the gold narrative for Bitcoin, it kind of faded a little bit, but it's not going anywhere. It's only going to get stronger. So gold has its place and that won't change, but the market cap for Bitcoin will overtake gold in the next 5 to 10 years. That's a certainty.
All right, so lastly, we have Dave from Team Tokenized Gold to make your final argument.
Yeah, sure. I mean, everyone's making a fantastic speech, and as I'm the last one to speak, I really think it's a game about time window and your own portfolio weights. If you're going to ask me what we should buy the next month, are you sure I'm going to buy BTC? We're in a bear, right? So it's considered to buy gold. But if you're asking me what we should buy the next 10 years, it's a totally different story. So the first thing is time window, and under different time scale, we speak different things. And the thing is saying is your own portfolio weights. I mean, for example, for some investors from mainland China, they really have limited investing instruments, like they don't have access to US stock market, and they have very poor saving rates for their own banks, and the real estate market is just horrible. So yeah, buy some Bitcoin, that's fine. But another example would be Tether, the company who issue USDT. This bunch of people just pat their head and realize, oh, we just bought too much Bitcoins and we want some gold. I mean, wise choice. So we're talking about alpha today, and the concept of alpha coming from the portfolio management. And if you go through all these tedious matrices and compute all these coefficients, you can come out with your own portfolio weights. And I don't think it's contradictory. Like, if you have enough money, go buy some gold and buy some Bitcoin. Like, it's fine for me. Yeah, so that's my point. Thanks.
Okay, now we have everyone actually justify the point, and now we can move to the next part. We want to invite everyone, like audience who are watching this live stream, to vote. Actually, I will turn the voting result to the screen because I really want to show, like, after the debate, what's the result right now. So yeah. Okay, I think I'll also over to MK to say something while we are waiting for the result coming.
Yeah, actually, I think we should give everybody a last chance to make their final decisions. Maybe we can hold off first for about 60 seconds. Last processing, last voting. First, for all of you of us on social, actually, we welcome you to leave your comments as well and chime in. I think it was quite an exercise in I felt myself like critically think very intensively, you know, like there was new data being dropped in and then new perspectives, and I was like, wow, that's a lot, right? So then, but for those of you who are already on the Bybit live stream page, feel free to just cast your vote. We are going to be wrapping up and closing off the voting, and then we're going to be reviewing the results, right? And in the meantime, maybe I will also just pause here first and also check in with Chu-Han. Were there some favorite moments of the stream that you felt was very interesting for you?
Okay, so I want to say that I think it's Ryan Chen from DGFT made a point, like if we ask our grandparents which asset they will buy, they will likely choose gold. I feel the same because right now, if I ask a lot of my friends, give them the choice, no matter which industry they are working at, I think more people will choose to invest in gold. So just giving this perspective, I think it might have more chance to win the mass adoption. And also, I really like RC's point about the institutional angle, because more banks and more institutions, if they want to enter Web3, they choose to make gold like on-chain. They invest in tokenized gold first. So I guess with those 2 points and all the argument from Team Tokenized Gold, personally, I think I will choose tokenized gold as my choice. So MK, what do you think? Like, do you have your favorite moment, and which would you choose to invest in 2026?
I see. Are you saying that because you're right on top of Team BTC just so conveniently, or Team Tether Gold so conveniently, and I'm on top of Team BTC, and then you're taking sides? But okay, I mean, I have to make a point about what I appreciated about Team BTC's kind of team strategy. I know the team barely had time to strategize together, but what I really appreciated was the teamwork and the referencing and the points of attack, right? I think in the spirit of debating, I actually really like that everyone kind of listened to what each other said and then, like, you know, design pointers to kind of reply to someone else. I appreciated that basically we were dropping basic like data from BTC's growth. We were also able to say that from a trader's perspective, what would really make sense. And then we were also able to say, going back to the fundamental issue of why we are even in crypto or blockchain is the issue of trust. Like, it was a philosophical moment for me to ask ourselves, like, who are we trusting, even with BTC or Tether Gold, right? Gold has established itself to be very trustable or trustworthy in a certain sense. But this debate today was very interesting, that when we went back and forth, is that whoever who is actually really, you know, behind BTC or behind Tether Gold, we are still asking the same question. I wouldn't take sides per se, but I did think that both teams are very well argued. I did appreciate the BTTC team's way of just structuring their attacks against Tether Gold. Like, I thought it was interesting to not just fight for BTC, but to actually also challenge some of the fundamental points of that. So that was very fun for me. I found it very educational, by the way. So I'm actually going to also just give a shout out to all our 8 speakers who came on today and prepped and really engaged with us on a very intellectual 1 hour. That was, thank you so much. Yeah. And on that note, I guess, yes, over to you, Chu-Han.
Yeah, I want to highlight another point that we have made this series, this type of engaging live stream, just because we not only want to educate everyone, but we want people to listen to each other and then participate and also be part of the live stream to maybe like participate in the voting part. So yeah, I'm very excited to have all 8 debaters today. It's a very engaging and fun conversation I have so far. So I really want to thank you, everyone. And for the round 3, the part structure that I really like, just because we have like team rotates. So the next person kind of just doing like a rebuttal on the previous person's point. So I really like that. And it just makes the argument stronger. Okay, so now I think we have all the numbers in. I just heard we have like over 900 people vote for the result today. So I want to see if we have the result ready to show on the screen. So yeah.
Okay, just a little bit more time. Wow. So actually, I have to say that because this is the first time we are doing like live voting. So previously on previous Bybit live streams, for those of you who've been with us for a while, you will know that actually there's a bit of a time delay. Yeah, but for us, actually, we are pushing technology and the team to do something that's a bit more live and intense. And I think that's the part. And also, I have to say, I'm very happy to see that there was 900 people who voted. and hopefully even more social debating on it, because actually we discussed this over lunch today and it was ferocious. Like, it was a very interesting topic. At this point it's a bit bearish, right? But it's actually worth thinking about. It's I think what you call a unifying topic, like where people can rally around this and debate a lot. So that was actually very entertaining.
Yeah. Actually, because this is about like prediction market, right? So I want to ask MK, do you know, or do you want to guess which team will win today?
I would actually feel like Team BTC has more angles attacking that I felt more convinced by. Also, I think it helped that BTC is nearly low for everyone to want to buy in potentially. So I feel like there's a buying energy around BTC already. Whereas for Tether Gold or for gold in general, I feel like we are all taking profits. Not financial advice to anyone, and not from our speakers and not from us, Mantle, Byreal, or Bybit. Yes.
No financial advice. So personally, I think I will still stick with Team Tokenized Gold. So I just cannot wait for the final result. So let's see. I will wait for the final result to come in so everyone knows what's the prediction.
We are testing our live stream team out. So maybe this is the time where we can give everybody a short, like, open air time for everyone. I actually think a lot of you guys are doing great work either on RWAs or all around basically the space right now. So if anyone feels free, wants to basically share what to look out for from your project or your team in 2026, feel free to unmute and do a little bit of advertising or sharing or teasing. No one. Then I'm going to see something. Okay, so
okay, I will start then.
okay, go for it. Yes.
I'll start then. Yes, we're going to build the prediction market super app. We're going to help everyone make money in prediction markets. So if you're on this live stream, you want to trade prediction markets like Polymarket or Kalshi, and you want a fast platform with like pretty good UI, we're going to live on Mainnet very soon. So just like stay tuned, follow our Twitter. Thank you very much. Thanks for Mantle and Bybit for this really great stage. Bybit is the best platform that I traded futures on. Always a big fan, always supportive. Thank you very much.
Oh, nice. Rapid fire.
Oh,
Oh.
Okay, MK make the right prediction. So, okay, Team BTC has like over 600 votes. Wow, congratulations, Team BTC. So, MK, do you have anything else to share with us today?
Actually, again, thank you everyone, speakers, as well as to all the viewers for joining us on our first experiment with a prediction live stream. I think it was very entertaining and fun, and we can't wait to iterate and have more versions. Again, I know it's not financial advice, but I did think it's actually time for us to have more of us come together and share different perspectives, right? I think the interesting thing about BTC is that everyone probably from the OGs is like, yeah, it's like a baby that's grown a lot. I think tokenized gold interestingly gives some people who missed the first boat a chance to kind of be on it again. So there's a sense of like, this is something new, but something not too new, right? So I'm personally excited for this kind of developments in the market. And so again, thank you everyone for staying true throughout the whole live stream with us. And thank you, Chuhan, for really orchestrating such a fun live stream. I'm going to leave the last closing statements to Chuhan to wrap up.
Yeah, I just really excited for all the debates that we're going to have in the future, because we will run this type of live stream throughout the year. Yeah, I'm also very happy today because we made a very successful experiment, and I think everyone made a very good argument. I personally learned a lot. So I will say thank you to everyone. And also I want to say, like, even though I'm not seeing like the audience, but I want to thank the audience who voted for the poll and also who listening to the live stream. So yeah, we hope to see you soon again. So yeah, thank you so much.
GMGN everyone.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Audience. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you very much, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.